What is good, everybody? It's BBKDRAGOON. I'm coming at you today with my opinions on the Warmind expansion for Destiny 2. I'll talk about if I think this is worth it, who I think it's worth it for, but first of all, the footage you're going to see is from the new patrol space, Mars, and I'm doing a few adventures here. That'll be the majority of the video, but the back half of the video, I am going to show footage from one of the new strikes. I will not show the boss of that strike. Just warning you up front if you don't want any spoilers, and let's just get into this thing. The story, I got through the story very quickly, just like you would with Curse of Osiris. Don't expect a longer campaign. I am a little disappointed at how quick the story went by and how I don't understand really the mindset behind recycling strikes as missions. They did it in Curse of Osiris and they did it in Warmind. Now, let's get one thing out of the way up front. Warmind is leaps and bounds better than Curse of Osiris. It's not a very high watermark to actually achieve, to land above, but it is made with a lot more care and love. You can tell the people at Vicarious Visions did want to put their fingerprint on this with collectibles, a much better patrol space, and it does feel like this thing has a lot more legs under it than Curse of Osiris did. With all of that said, though, your campaign is just going to be, you're going to fly through it. If you don't want to know how long it is, just skip ahead 10 seconds. I finished it in 2 hours, and 20 minutes of that 2 hours was spent doing public events, trying to level grind up a couple of levels before I could continue the next story mission. And the characters are cool. The writing is pretty much the same style, very cheesy, very Marvel movie-esque kind of a deal. I loved the way they wrapped the DLC up, however, and I'm not going to delve into the narrative ends of things, but I was happy that they maybe didn't do what they did with Curse of Osiris, where they took a giant lore character and essentially wrapped it up in the course of 2 hours. That didn't really happen this time around, thankfully. It was something I was very worried about, because there are some huge lore characters being thrown around, and you really want to see them have this long arc and not just finished up really, really quick. Escalation Protocol, which is the new survival mode, I can't actually give a decent opinion on because it's the recommended power 370, and I'm down in the 340s, 350s, and it's hard. It's very challenging at those lower power levels. How it's going to age and how it's going to sit over the next 2-3 weeks as players actually push up higher. Sorry, I dropped a pen. Push up higher is going to be very telling, I guess, about how long Warmind's going to give Destiny 2 a little bit of a momentum boost. I played both strikes. I love both strikes. I think these are two of my favorite strikes ever in Destiny. There are mechanics involved. They have a decent amount of length to them, and you're not fighting on giant open no-cover areas. That seems to be the theme with Destiny 2 strikes, where Bungie got salty, I guess, maybe, that we were cheesing things. And so if you look at the final boss rooms of all the vanilla Destiny 2 strikes, they're pretty much an empty room with no cover. Shield Brothers-esque, you could say. Well, that's not the case with these ones. The play spaces, the art, it's just all more reminiscent of that Destiny 1 stuff in a good nostalgic way. Now, Season 3 has come at the same time that this DLC has launched, and if you're into, let's say, ranked PvP, or you want to try out the new exotic stuff, there are a lot of subtle small changes that arrived with this update. Now, is this worth it? You're pretty much looking at something a bit better than Curse of Osiris, but definitely not the overarching giant sweeping changes that people have been hoping for, and we're now assuming is the September expansion, or have been assuming, I should say. But I will note, on stream today when I was playing it and when I was just grinding it this evening, this feels like the first sort of tone shift in Destiny 2. This feels like a good step, a good atmosphere change in terms of where the game is going and how it kind of feels. I know that might sound a little bit just sort of vague. It's hard to grab onto this in a tangible way, but I believe Vicarious Visions really cared and put as much effort as possible in as they could. Bungie obviously gave them the playbook from Curse of Osiris and said, you are going to stick to these, metrics, paradigms, whatever. You're going to build the expansion in this particular way. But I don't know about you guys, I get thrilled to hear that there are other studios involved working with Destiny, because at this point, I really do want to see other studios get a crack and a chance to work with the Destiny IP and see what they can do. And maybe if Warmind goes over well enough, Vicarious Visions will get to develop large expansions, and it almost will become sort of like a Call of Duty thing, where one year's the Bungie Destiny giant thing, and then the next year's the Vicarious Visions one. I don't know. I will say, at $20, I don't think it's worth it if you were to just buy this as a standalone thing, unless you're a player who really likes Destiny. Obviously, the raid layer is not out, and if you enjoy the raids, then it probably will be something to invest in. But I bet most of you guys watching are people who bought the season pass at $30. So it's worth coming back. It's worth playing Warmind. The way I foresee this whole thing playing out, I think Warmind for me is going to offer a nice 3 to 5 weeks of Destiny game time with buddies between the raid layer, checking out the new PvP stuff, and chasing new gear while trying to hit the cap. It might be sooner depending on like how the rewards roll out for Escalation Protocol, but it is a nice little boost in the arm for, let's say, at least 3 weeks to get to play some Destiny 2 with my buddies. However, I probably wouldn't rush out and buy this for $20. It's still just too similar to Curse of Osiris in terms of the structure of the DLC. Like I said, the gameplay quality is far away. Much, much, much better than Curse of Osiris. But I'd like to know what you guys think about it. If you've been playing Warmind, let me know about it down in the comment section below what you think of it. Be careful, there might be spoilers down there for players who've completed it, but that's my 2 cents. And don't take my word as like the only thing. That's just my opinion, and I could totally not match up or resonate with yours. So it's just, you know, something to throw in there if you're making the decision and thinking about what you may want to see with Destiny moving forward. For me, like I said, the positive takeaway, this feels like a tone shift. Like maybe this September, really, it could change. There's lots of small little good stuff in here. Now we're just waiting for the biggies. So thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please thumbs it up. Have a great rest of your day. Subscribe for the channel to see more videos, and I will check in with you again next time.